brother then he also was a swimmer and a smart kid in his own right. We were really similar, even to this day, but probably because of the stresses our family situation put on us at the time, we didn't get along near at all. One of those wet winter days in the Midwest, I'd put in my time at school and swim, and I still had to sit down for several hours of homework. This time I had to write an essay for some advanced class that I wasn't really interested in. I dropped my swim bag at the door when I got home and looked around my house to see if anyone was home. Empty. Dad must be out with Ree at swim practice. His club team had the slot at the pool after the high school team was done. I popped in a mouthful of cheese and headed down to the basement to my office to get some schoolwork done. The house was a middle-class two-story with an unfinished basement, with the exception of what I referred to as my office from a career past. My dad used to work from home, but no longer did. I was the only one who used this place, so my family, or what was left of it, just called it Quinn's office. So I made my way across the concrete floors and unattached carpet samps down there to the one finished out room in the basement. I flicked on the CFL light. It was like any other night after practice. I still had hours of homework to do, so I turned on the computer and started typing away. I was typing for what seemed like an hour, trying to bring two words to what the concept of hedonism and the picture of Dorian Gray meant to me as best I could, or as convincingly as I could. Out of the dark I heard my little brother call out to me, "Quinny, Quinny, come up." Almost reflexively I called back to him, "Reese, I'm working." "What do you need?" we would yell through the house like brothers do, but it took me a minute to realize I didn't hear him. "Come home." I got no response, only for a couple minutes, though again I heard my little brother's voice sing out, "Quinny, Quinny, come up." It felt strange hearing those words carry across the dark concrete floor. "He's supposed to be at swim practice." I called back out to him, asking if he needed anything, but again I received no answer. I thought about just starting my essay again, but the family situation was delicate at best, and I didn't want to be in trouble if my little brother actually needed something. I made the decision to get up and go find out for myself. I bounded up the basement staircase, the only way a high schooler can, and I called out again for my brother. "Raise, what's up? I'm really busy." I checked all around the main floor, looking for my little brother, or even signs he was home. No shoes, no backpack, so he wasn't home, and there was no car in the driveway either. The only reason my dad would be gone right now would be to pick him up. Satisfied, I turned back for the stairs when I heard my little brother's voice ring out, "Quinny, Quinny, come up." This time every hair in my body stood on end. It just didn't make sense. He had to be at practice, and if he really needed me, he would have come to me. I go to the base of the second floor stairs and called out to him one more time, "Raise, what's going on? Are you okay?" For a minute, no answer. "Raise, I'm really busy. Can you tell me what's up?" It's quiet for way too long as I stared up the dark staircase. Logically, I had no reason to believe anyone was up there until I heard Reese's voice calmly speak this time, and not call out in his sing-song way those same 4 words, "Quinny, Quinny, come up." What I asked under my breath. I couldn't comprehend the situation. I did quick inventory of any probable scenario break in wrong voice a prank I would have seen something at this point. It had to be Reese, and maybe helping him would make me a good brother, so I began up the stairs. My heart pounded with each step, and I was about to make the landing to the dark second floor. Then I heard the buzz of the garage door motor. I ran back down the stairs and looked out the window. It was my father's sedan and him and my little brother got out. I stumbled from the window to the hall where there would enter, and I felt my heart almost stop eating. I collapsed on the floor and just started to cry uncontrollably. This was like 15 years ago now. When I was a kid, I was with my best friend, Jackson, at some abandoned family resort or bungalow colony type place in New York. It was off a main road and then down a private dirt path, driveway, entrance, and it was a rather large property with a bunch of old abandoned buildings, including at least 10 small bungalows, a main hall, a few bathroom stations, and an indoor pool house. Along with that was an outdoor pool, a shuffle boarding area, and a kids' playground. Everything was old, run down, and with tall overgrown grass growing over it. We found this place accidentally one time walking down Route 209, but we didn't explore it that day. We came back another night. By the time we went, it was past sunset. The sun was kissing the sky. Good night. It was getting very dark, but we didn't want to come during the day in fear of getting caught and getting charged for trespassing. We brought along walkie-talkies and flashlights with us to communicate to each other. When we'd split up, we started looking around the bungalows together. Most of them looked the same and were relatively small, 1 or 2 beds each, a small kitchen and 1 bathroom each. Some of them had these little living room areas halfway. Looking through these bungalows, I split off from Jackson because he was moving kind of slow. I tried to enter the building that looked to be the main hall or office or something, but every entrance was locked. I walkie-talkie Jackson to tell him that the big building was locked. He didn't walkie-talkie back. I wondered if I was out of range from where he was. 2 minutes later, I found myself at one of the 2 bathroom buildings. It was probably a 400 square foot building. There were no doors to the building, though it was unusual. It just had 2 big openings, one for the men's room, one for the women's room. I remember the signs being faded and worn out looking. Then I saw these red tracks on the dirty old concrete bathroom floor. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say they looked like bloody footprints, but I couldn't explain what these red marks could be then, and I still can't say for certain now. Regardless, it was pitch black inside that bathroom around that corner, and that was the first building I was scared to enter. I tried walkie-talking to Jackson again, hoping he was in range. This time I pressed the button on the walkie and said, "Yo, where are you?" When I let go, I heard the beep sound that the receiving walkie makes after getting a message from an inside the bathroom. It gave me a near heart attack. Then I thought Jackson must already be in there, hence the red-looking footsteps. I called his name and it echoed into the bathroom. I was actually about to step into the bathroom thinking he was hiding from me, pranking me, when I heard Jackson's voice call out from the distance behind me. Outside in the darkness of the night, I heard him getting closer. Couldn't see him in the dark, but he obviously saw my light, so I yelled back, "I found your walkie-talkie." I started stepping into the bathroom, but then he said back, "Don't Go in there. I never went in there. This is when I turned around and hurried, right. Bird. This story takes place when I was a junior in high school. For context, here's a little background information. Back in the day, I was a pretty involved student, took all the hard classes, and was in a few varsity sports. In one of these ways, I was always busy and didn't have much time for myself, and part of me was thankful for that. It provided me an escape from a world where my parents had recently parted ways and my older brother had just gone to college. It was just me and my little. Out of there, I pressed and released the talk button really quick on my walkie, causing the beep again from inside that pitch black women's room. Jackson and I looked at each other for half a second, then began dashing in the direction we came. We made it back to Route 209 and had to stop to catch our breaths. This is when Jackson told me that inside one of the bungalows he went into, he tried walkie-talking me, but I wasn't answering, meaning we must have been out of range. But then he heard